Yo guys, this is Reinhardt. This is your favorite Russian talking. And today I'm gonna make a guide about Astarion, a white-haired vampire who can speak in complete sentences unlike Joe Biden. Astarion is easily one of my most favorite melee companions out there, probably even the most favorite companion period. No homo. Like, I really like his storyline, his arc overall. You start off and you see him as this kind of a douchey vampire guy that if you kill him, no sense at all whatsoever. And then you start digging deeper, you understand how demented and tortured his world was and how he's trying so hard to essentially escape. You ready for this? Get this. Slavery programming made by his former vampire master. Basically, it's all about him trying to rebel and resist the pull from his vampire master. And he was tortured, he was mutilated, it was just the whole raw of emotions on how he goes from like super maniacal sadist to just this little scared boy of his vampire master and he goes back and forth, he tries to fight this two programming at the same time in his dialogues. That's what makes him my most favorite companion. I mean, let's look at other male companions. Gale, he's fucking boring. It's like the average introvert, don't talk to me type of dudes. And then you have Will, who is just average nice guy, kind of an avatar. Also boring as shit, and Halcyon is giving me some serious pedo vibes. Alright my friends, feel free to team tag along with me and build your machine gun Astarion as I'm building it, as I'm showing it to you here. Now, really quickly, before level 5, I would say go with a rogue thief first because you get a bonus action or / bonus attack from your offhand. Otherwise, at level 5 plus, switch it up and go with the ranger main because ranger statistically does more damage. 5 ranger, 3 thief, then you go another 3 into ranger and 1 into thief at the end. Or you can go 5 ranger, 4 thief, and then you go another 3 into ranger. So for favorite enemy, I usually like to go with the ranger knight just so you can get a proficiency with the heavy armor. I usually toggle them off when I need to get some stealth work done, but I mean there's so much other stuff that is out there. Like, I don't have no problem running in the heavy armor with this build at all whatsoever, and I no problem have sneaking around. Just the game is relatively easy on that end and very unforgiving. And here I'm gonna definitely pick up Urban Tracker so you can pick up Sleight of Hands for your abilities. For this, I will go with Insight, Survival, and Stealth. Definitely, Stealth is your priority. For your essentially attributes, I would go with 10 Strength, 17 Dex, 14 Con, 8 Charisma, 8 Intelligence, and then 16 into Wisdom. You can swap 2 points from Wisdom into Constitution if you need to, but honestly, it's more tomato to tomatoes. In fact, I think I would actually do that. Sorry. I would actually go full on 16 Con, 14 Wisdom because I just found the Wisdom. Like, I don't spellcast on him that much because one spell costs me like 2 attacks. And I just do so much damage with my attacks that I don't want to cast spells. Now, where the rubber hits the road, let's start leveling our Astarion. And by the way, you need all the defensives on this guy you can get. So for the spells, Hunter's Mark is the must. Jump and Long Strider I think are very strong. But Hunter Mark is your #1 pick. And I would go with the Archery, obviously, for the weapon style fighting. Ranger 3, we're gonna be picking up Specialization and we're gonna go with the Gloomstalker. It's just a Unholy Alliance match made in heaven. Gloomstalker is a ranger who just attacks from the ambush. And Thief is a rogue who has sneak attacks. Tell me if those don't marry well together. So what do you get with actually getting with the Gloomstalker? You get the Dread Ambusher, you get, that's basically a very strong attack in the beginning. And you also get initiative, so you go almost always first. Like, that's what makes this Astarion very super strong. Like, you go first and you do enough damage to almost one-shot a Steel Watcher. You fight against the boss, you dwindle down the boss or any key mages or anybody else, you take them out of the fight right away. That's the power of the Gloomstalker. And then you also get a lot of like stealth invade mechanics with this subclass as well. And then for the spell, we're gonna pick Long Strider. So for Ranger 4, level 4, this is where we're gonna get Sharpshooter. And it's freaking phenomenal. So this is where it makes the whole build to pop off. Literally. So you get -5% attack roll, which is -25% hit chance in the favor of 10 damage. That is absolutely insane. And the reason why is because light, like one-hand crossbows, they don't do a lot of damage. But each and every one of those shots will be affected by that plus 10 damage. So think about it this way, without any haste pots or anything else, you have 4 attacks, where average tune has only 2 attacks, you have 4 attacks. And each and every one does plus 10 damage. So, and then at the level 5, we're finally picking up also an extra main hand attack. For this, I would occasionally go with the dark vision, I'll go with the lesser restoration, or pass without a trace. I personally also like the silence quite a bit. It lands actually quite frequently. And it can be a game changer. But keep in mind, again, Astarion is not meant for casting. He is meant for shooting. Sharpshooter, Machine Gun Astarion. So for this guy, I would pick sometimes occasionally Mage Breaker just so I can get a True Strike, or I would go with the Keeper of the Veil. Sometimes this one, proficiency with Investigation, and then creatures hitting with Ensnaring Strikes have disadvantage on their saving throw. But you don't really use Ensnaring Strikes that much. So. And then for the natural enemy, I would go with the Urban Fire. Like, people think that Beast Tamer, I heard about cool things about Beast Tamer. I'll tell you what, guys, the familiar, if you're not spec'ing it, is not really that strong. And there's a lot of fire damage coming along. So I would really go with the fire damage reduction. Now we reach level 6. We're gonna go to level 7 on our Ranger. So we're getting another spell, another level 2 spell. I'll go with the Restoration, and then that's about it. So for the subclass features, what we get? You get proficiency in Wisdom and Intelligence saving throws, which is also phenomenal. And at level 8, this is where there's a couple choices out here. So when it comes to feat, I can go with the Athlete and just get to that plus 5% extra crit chance, hit chance, and plus 1% extra damage. Also, I can go with like extra jump, 50% improvement speed. This is amazing. Also, I really like Crossbow Expert. There's so many times people just try to get into melee range with you just to get the disadvantage, and not being able not to suffer disadvantage when their melee is coming in melee range for you is freaking amazing. Just think about it, Hunter's Death Zone in World of Warcraft. So now we're switching off. We got 8 levels, we got what we needed from the Ranger, we took what we needed from the Ranger, now we're going back to the Thief, my friend. We're gonna be thieving. So we're going back into Rogue, and we pick up Sneak Attack. So Sneak Attack is every time you have advantage, your attacks do 1d6 slashing damage. And it actually ramps up to more. So you get a Sneak Attack. At level 2, you get something absolutely phenomenal. You can use your Dash as a bonus action. And you can use Hide as a bonus action. That is phenomenal for this guy. Again, think about it. Gloomstalker gives you a lot of stealth capabilities, and Thief just makes you use bonus actions for those. Like I said, unholy marriage made in heaven. Now, for our subclass, we're gonna pick up Thief. Assassin is also very strong. If you actually play really well, I think that Assassin can even overtake on a damage capability a little bit more towards the Thief. But let's be honest, bonus action is bonus action. It's freaking amazing. And you also need to cast your Hunter's Mark, so that bonus action actually comes very in handy. Now that we picked 8 Ranger, 3 Thief, we have 2 main hand attacks and we have 2 offhand attacks. And each and every one, yep, that was 1 crit, my friends. That was 1 crit attack from this guy. And it did 18 piercing damage, acid. We had an acid damage reduction. Alright, so we did 23, 25, plus 2, 37, and plus 7 here. 44, plus 7 here. No, plus 9 here. 53. I just did 53 damage with 1 offhand attack. My main hand missed, my offhand landed. 53 damage. Let that sink in. So Gale is at 82 HP. 1 row of attacks against him gets him down to 21 HP. Oh, he's healing himself. That's awesome. Let's try again. Oh, I missed him. So regular attacks hits for 28, which is still pretty good. Gale, stop resisting. Yep. So an average per round, per attack, you can get the shot up to like 60 damage. So your actual 1 attack does about an average 30 damage. 30 damage and you have 4 of them. That's where it gets very, very nutty. Now let's talk about the unholy alliance between the gear and your talents. And let me go through a couple of those. A must have. First of all, the idea of the gearing this guy is this. You do a shit ton of damage because you have a lot of attacks. You have 2 main attacks, you have 2 offhand attacks. You have 4 attacks without any haste or pots. What do you need? You need proccing. Anything that procs with your attacks is good, it's pleasurable, it's amazing. So with that said, is for Ring, we go with the casting band for 2 acid damage. You can also replace it with a one that you find in, I believe, in Get Yankee Port. You can buy it somewhere. Like this ring is all over the place. It's not difficult to get, but it's every time you're concentrating, you get 1d4 psychic damage. It's amazing. But this is most amazing. Risky ring. Basically, it gives you advantage on your attack rolls and disadvantage on your saving throws. Why do you need advantage on your attack rolls? Well, simply put, is it increases your hit chance. It increases your hit chance and it also procs your sneak attacks. Remember, guys, we're gonna go 4 points into Rogue and we're gonna pick up sneak attack from him. And this makes it so you can use sneak attack at any time whatsoever. Now, if he's only gonna land, also to showcase you guys damage numbers, that would have been phenomenal. Don't talk to the... Get the fuck out of this dialogue, bitch. I'm trying to kill you. There you go. Oh, that is a good damage. That is a really, really good damage. So on average, Astarion's attacks proc about 30 damage per hit, and the sneak attacks get up to like 35. So extra 5 damage it's not gonna hurt you, but it's like once per round. Going further, things that are also must to have. This one you're gonna pick up, I believe it's also in Githyanki Pork or somewhere there. It's also not very difficult to find. Or it could be in Moonrise Towers. But what this does is, oh yeah, I think it's Moonrise Towers. It gives you 1d4 attack rolls against creatures that are marked by Hunter's Mark, True Fire, Fair Fire, Guiding Bolt, and whatever. And what does a Hunter Mark do? Because I'm also equipping main hand attack, your attacks mark a creature as required to deal additional 1d6 force attacks whenever you hit with a weapon attack. Let's look at this guy real quick. So we're gonna mark her, and now we're gonna try to do another sneak attack. Notice, guys, it's 70% hit chance, and this time we 100% killed her with all the damage stacking. So that's why this thing is a must. You're gonna spend 1 bonus action point, but you're gonna get about 16% extra hit chance, but you're also gonna proc extra 1d6 damage. For my gloves, also I went with the proccing 1d4 fire damage. I also assigned the shit out of my Astarion, so his attacks will do 1d4 damage, and then occasionally I will use Rhapsody so I can increase some of my attacks and some of my damage as well, because Rhapsody is freaking phenomenal for that perspective. So for me, you don't get a melee much, but if you melee, I like things here. I like Cold Snap for +1 armor, and I like Rhapsody because every time you kill somebody, you get +1 damage and +1 attack. Now, let's talk a little bit about incongruencies that you guys might find here. As you guys can see, I am rocking full-on heavy armor. And that makes sense. I just got into Act 1. Well, the reason why I'm rocking full heavy armor is because I did not spend that many talent points, and I didn't get too much into dexterity, to the point where, you know what, heavy armor does give me more defense. I'm not trying to sneak around with him, this guy just fucking kills everything that I don't need to sneak around with him. And occasionally, if I do need to sneak around, I'll just take my armor off. However, a couple cool other things I have here is, from Cold Snap, you also get +1 armor. And you also can pick up +1 armor from talents if you need it from a dual wielding. But with that said, I think that's just a crossbow expert. I think that athlete, crossbow expert, and sharpshooter are like the top 3 talents or feats that you're gonna pick up with this guy. So now this, and then for the legs, I also picked up 1 armor class. My Astarion is running at around like 21 AC, and I know I can boost it up to like about 25, 26 towards the end of the game. I legitimately, this guy will be running with a tank amount of armor while dual shooting every single asshole out there. And that's what I found out about essentially kind of Baldur's Gate, is that if you build your character super well, the game becomes piss easy to play. So hopefully they're gonna make it a little bit harder as we're getting smarter about different builds and different characters. Thank you guys, love you all, and до свидания.